You know, I'm just trying to have a nice, relaxing weekend, and people just keep screwing it up for me. All right, is the Chinese Communist Party recycling shells from both Russia and Ukraine? So, one of the things I like to do on this channel is fight misinformation. And I'm not a huge fan of the Chinese Communist Party, but the truth is the truth. And if you lie about something and it smells funny, the ends don't justify the means. It's still a lie. People have called me a propagandist. I'm really not. I use science and engineering to discover the truth. And if you want a starring role in a Ryan McBeth video, the fastest way to do it is to lie about something on Twitter. So this Twitter user claimed that China recycled thousands of tons of artillery shells from Russia-Ukraine war battlefield last few months. And then they shows a video. Now, I took a look at the video and I noticed a few things wrong with it from the jump. When I pointed that out, the user posted a second video which gave me even more information confirming that I was right. And I probably would have let it go. But homie posted that second video, so you want to be in a Ryan McBeth video? Let's get started. So the first thing is the claim that China is recycling tons of artillery shells from the Russia-Ukraine war battlefield last few months. And then the user shows these shell casings as proof. There's a couple of problems with this. First of all, life would be a lot easier if everybody had a subscription to CAT-UXO. This is a website that basically is a database for explosive ordnance disposal and landmine experts, and civilians can join for like $4 a month. It's a great deal. So whenever someone makes a claim about artillery shells, I head over to CAT-UXO. So let's start with the shape of the shell. What shells are being used in Ukraine right now by both Russia and Ukraine? Well, mainly 122 millimeter and 152 millimeter. Ukraine is using Western 155 millimeter shells and 105 millimeter shells. 122 millimeter casings look like this. Now remember, this right here, this casing is what we saw in the video. And these are the casings that I'm going to describe. So 122 millimeter shell casings look like this. 152 millimeter shell casings look like this. 105 millimeter shell casings look like this. This would be from the United States. And 155 millimeter shells use propellant charges, not casings. Okay, so you might want to say, well, they're tank shells, not artillery. All right, let's go down that path. Now, both Russian and Ukrainian tanks use an autoloader which separate the warhead and the propellant, so there's really no shell casing to eject. And you might say, well, it's a NATO tank shell. Well, NATO tank shells really haven't made their way to Ukraine yet, and NATO 120 millimeter ammunition has a combustible case, meaning the case actually burns up inside the gun, and the only thing that's ejected is the aft cap, this thing right here. So let's look at these shells that were being manufactured. If you look at the bottleneck of the shell here, you can tell that this is a Chinese 100 millimeter shell. The shells are mainly used by the T-54, T-55 series of tanks. Russia finally retired the T-55 in 2012, and they auctioned them all off. So it's highly doubtful that any are in use in Ukraine, much less enough to fill an entire warehouse full of shells. Now, the People's Liberation Army had a version of the T-55 called the Type 59, which was made famous in this picture here, the Tank Man picture. This Type 59 has a 100 millimeter gun. The 100 millimeter gun has a shell with a bottleneck. So these two shells look awful similar, all the way down to the writing on the side. Today, the People's Liberation Army mainly operates the Type 96 and Type 99 tanks, which fire 125 millimeter shells. So I believe these shells are not recycled from the battlefield in Ukraine because there just wouldn't be enough of them to even ship to China. I believe they are of new manufacture and destined for countries that use the T-55 tank like Bangladesh, Pakistan, Iran, or some African countries that still use the T-55. Listen, just because you say something and then show a video doesn't make it true. No matter how badly you want it to be true or how badly you think that lying about something will help the greater good. So if you're going to lie about shell casings, at least check CAT-UXO first. Specialists in disinformation rely on your lack of knowledge about the military to influence your decision making. Fight back with knowledge. And hey, if you want to support the channel, head on over to Bunker Branding. You can get the landmine t-shirt that I'm wearing right now. Running this channel isn't cheap, and it goes to support my memberships, and things like CAT-UXO. And thank you so much for watching. Now I'm going to go eat my breakfast.
It's me, Captain Bannon of the documentary Team Yankee. When I'm not kicking commie butts, I'm wearing t-shirts from Ryan McBeth, available at Bunker Branding, Knife Hands, HIMARS, Landmines, Patriot, and even my favorite, the TOW missile. Mushna, we want t-shirt too! Take a hike, commie! So come on down to Bunker Branding and take a stand for what's really important about America. Capitalism!